It's needed now, and that those numbers are going to increase because, and maybe you've heard the statistics, but by 2030, mental health issues are projected to be the leading cause of disability in Canada and exceed the total cost of the entire healthcare system. So that is significant, and that this is happening worldwide. It's not just in Canada, of course, but that is a local statistic here, and probably not that surprising. And also it's really sad, but the great news is we can do something about it. The other big number in the rise we're seeing is in the form of dementias, and the WHO, the World Health Organization, estimates that dementia will more than triple by 2030. Or by 2050. So this is staggering. The number is already high. So between now and then, we are going to be tripling these numbers. Again, we don't have a healthcare system that can manage it. And how will families cope? So this is obviously a very serious matter. No one can sculpt your brain for you. And that is something that is not only our responsibility to do, it's a huge opportunity because we gain access to so many more resources. The heads up to that statement is that only you can do it. You are in the driver's seat of your brain functioning, and it is your, again, responsibility and opportunity to invest into your brain care and your brain optimization. So, to kick off, really, the main message I want to get across to everyone here is that we all can, at every age and stage of life, improve our brain. We can invest into its growth, its development, its healing, its productivity, its efficiency, its optimization. In the meantime, I just want to let you know that you've already started to invest into your brain fitness. So give yourself a hand, a pat on the back. Yes, props, that we've already started to engage our brain. Now, let's go into what brain fitness is. I like to describe it from three main components, starting with, and I've said this word a few times already, awareness. Awareness is a superpower for many reasons. So awareness is a superpower because of that, but it's also the awareness that we can change our brain at every age and stage of life, because a lot of people don't know this. And then last but not least, we have the strategies, the activities, the tools, the techniques that we're going to implement to create and invest into our brain fitness. But the overarching concept here is that we're investing into a fit brain. And inevitably, when we invest into our brain fitness, we are also investing into a fit life. This is putting you in the driver's seat of your brain health and functioning, and you will be able to think better, more effectively, currently and long term, by building this healthier and stronger. Regardless of the cause, trigger, stress is going to interfere with our brain health and functioning. It really doesn't matter what caused it. It's that we are now in a stress state. And what will happen? Brain cells will start to die off. We'll have a loss of memory and slower recall. Our immune system will become compromised. We'll be more susceptible to colds, viruses, disease. We'll react instead of respond. And that really takes the meaning and joy out of our daily life interactions as well, doesn't it? And then last but not least, our executive functions will shut down. That's that higher part of our brain that gives us the human advantage. It's the ability to think clearly, to plan, to strategize, to make decisions, to time manage, to access our memory, to be creative and innovative, to set goals and move towards them. All those higher order skills are not available to us when we're in stress. So what can we do about this? This is exciting because you do not have to have a science background. Everyday person can use brain fitness because what we're actually doing is we are using the body we have to get the brain we want. How do you like that saying? Isn't that amazing? You can use the body you have to get the brain you want. And that's true because whatever we do to our body, from everything we eat to how we move it to the sleep we're getting, etc. All of this impacts our brain functioning immediately and long term. Now, on that note, I wanted to share some information on the movement side of this because what we're going to do some more brain fitness strategies very soon. Wanted to cover some information so you understand the context or how this all works and why it's so important. We are going to go into strategies very soon. But I did want to point out again some information relating to movement because all of the strategies to some degree or another have movement involved. Even if it's drinking water, there's movement involved in drinking water. So every activity has some movement connected to it, and movement on the brain is really important. So this is some information that was in the NIH PubMed article recently. Brain plasticity and cognitive function are significantly improved by physical activity. The importance of this association is more important than ever, given the significantly increased sedentary behavior and obesity worldwide in childhood and adulthood, and the upsurge in the aging populations and their diminishing fitness and cognitive functions. So right there, that basically sums it up really well. If we go a step further, what does movement actually really do to your brain? And when I talk about movement, it's brain fitness style movement. You can also go to the gym, go for a run, go for a hike. All those things are great, but we do a certain kind of brain fitness movement that is very strategic. Now, ultimately, what all movement does is it improves brain oxygenation. It will increase your cerebral blood flow, so you're going to actually feed your brain better. It will stimulate neuroplasticity and neurogenesis. That means it's our ability to change our brain, to restructure our brain, to grow new brain cells. It releases the neurotrophic factors. These are proteins and biochemicals that will help build and strengthen our brain. It will elicit brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often referred to as BDNF. It's like a miracle grow for our brain. It will boost our executive functions and our processing speed, and will activate our happy neurochemicals, in particular dopamine, the endorphins, and serotonin. Now, I just want to mention that most people understand it's important to drink water, but I want to give you a little more information about that. So continue to sip more if you feel like it while we're discussing this. But basically, your brain is an electrical unit. It runs on quantum energy, and it requires proper hydration so information can move freely between your sensory system, where that information from our environment and from others comes in, through our nervous system to our brain, so that we can then respond to that information. Maybe we do something, maybe we think about it, maybe we put it into memory. Whatever our brain needs to do with that information can only happen with the proper hydration. And this isn't just have 1 cup in the morning and you're done. It's constant sips throughout the course of your day. And by the way, for those who are concerned that you may need to run to the washroom, I understand that is a thing, but the reasoning is that your brain is not, your body rather, and your brain is not yet holding the hydration. You have to retrain your brain to be hydrated. And so your brain, just like a plant, when it's dry, the water will just go right through the soil. But once it's more hydrated, it will hold more hydration readily. And yeah, so that's a little tip there that you need to train your brain for hydration. And on another note, research has shown that elderly folks actually their thirst sensors start to become desensitized. And when they start to become dehydrated, there often is a thought that it's dementia, the onset of dementia, because they start to have memory issues, balance issues. They can't think clearly. And the brain is literally shrinking in size. Well, you know what turns out? It was actually that they were chronically dehydrated. So I hope I've compelled you to stay well hydrated throughout the course of this session and continuing that habit in your daily life. Now we're going to calm ourselves. We're going to allow ourselves to gather by holding our neurovascular points of our forehead. Okay, with one hand and the other hand holding your heart. This is a wonderful way to create inner coherence between our thoughts and our feelings through our body. Notice your breathing as you do this. It's a wonderful way to slow down our heart rate when we're feeling stressed, bring down our blood pressure. We're calming our head and our heart in tandem. And there are more messages that go from our heart up to our head than the other way around because we have neurons in our heart. We have millions of neurons in our heart center, and many people don't realize that they are very powerful because they actually direct the brain in more ways than we realize. They actually run the show. So bringing ourselves into connection with our head-heart balance is so important. Then we could switch that over so the opposite hand is on the heart and the other hand is on the head if you feel like switching them. It's very important, again, to build our awareness muscles so we can make the changes we want to make that if we're not aware of that we wouldn't otherwise do. And because we're focusing on our awareness, we're already changing our brain. But in this session, we've added movement with our awareness, these wonderful strategies that allow us to create new neural pathways. So instead of not using it and losing it, we're actually moving it and fusing it. We are literally creating new brain cells and neural pathways, and we're restructuring our brain in healthier and happier and more efficient ways. And with practice and repetition and consistency, over time, these new pathways will become your new normal. They'll become your new standard, and they'll become faster and healthier and happier and more resilient, and so will you.